Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video is going to be another Prepper movie critique on the movie The Road. So now, The Road was released in 2009. It's a drama sci-fi, if you will. Viggo Mortensen, Charlize Theron, Robert Duvall, and Cody McPhee are stars in the movie. So now, we all know who the players are in those movies. Hopefully, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it, guys. Spoiler alert, there might be some scenes I might give away, I might not, if I try to explain it carefully. So the synopsis of the movie is some crazy shit goes down and we don't quite know what it is, and the planet is in peril. So with everything going haywire, with everyone acting a fool, this event, we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's one event or multiples. I think it's multiple events. I don't think the author gave away quite exactly what was going on, other than I think he's still keeping his mouth shut about what actually happened. So the author's name of the book, The Road, is Arthur McCarthy. Again, the book was great. The movie was very good. There were some key scenes in the book I wish they would have put in the movie, like the train scene, where they get on the abandoned train and Viggo Mortensen's character, the man, explains to his son, Cody Smith McPhee, by the way, the boy, what the train was and how it was used and serviced and things like that. That was a very good scene because it made him remember the old times, the old days before everything broke down. I thought that was a key point in the book. Again, my opinion. So, back to the synopsis. The second part of the synopsis is, whatever the event was, guys, it's going on for quite some time. Anywhere between 10 to 9 years. 9 to 10 years, sorry. Because it starts with the man, Viggo Mortensen's character, flashbacking about his wife, Charlize Theron, who is the woman. So, he flashbacks as far as the kid being a baby, all the way up to the moment she leaves and they have to bug out, and the kid seems to be 9 or 10 years old. So that event's been going on for a while. So I think it's hard to assess what's going on, but you get a feel that the shit ain't right and the world's falling apart. So during the movie, they run into thieves, killers, cannibals, and Hope. Now Hope comes in the form of the veteran, who's played by Guy Pearce at the end, which is pretty cool. And Hope was also the butterfly at the end. So that gives you some kind of ease as to things might be getting better. From a prepper's standpoint, it's hard to gauge what went on. It's hard to gauge what happened. So it's hard to say what we would do and how we would do it because we don't really know what was going on. Now, based on the movie, you needed a lot of preps, guys, to last 10 years, 9 to 10 years, a lot. So again, it's still hard to gauge what was going on, and to have 10 years worth of prep is a lot. Now, there's some guys out there, some of you guys out there probably have 10 to 20 years worth of shit. Great. But then what do you do after that? That's the problem with with assessing this movie from a prepper standpoint. 10 years is a lot, and for whatever the disaster was or disasters were, 10 years is hard to assess and give an accurate assessment, what you would do and how you would address it. So again, guys, they were bugging in for numerous years, and that's a hard thing to do. Anything over 10 years, guys, that's a lot. So if you have 20 years worth of prep, that's great, as long as it's just you and your son or your daughter, or you calculated 20 years for 4 people. That's a lot of fucking food. That's a lot of water, guys. So again, it's a hard thing to assess. All right, so now I know what a lot of you are going to say. A lot of you are going to say that Viggo Mortensen's character, was extreme. But like I said before, or if I haven't said it before, sorry, it was about his son. Survival was about his son. It wasn't about anything else. So that being said, for a lot of you guys are going to sit there and I'll play hero and I'll do X, Y, and Z. It's not going to work out that way, and not in that kind of event. 10 years of people dying, despair, gray skies, no food, barely any drinking water. It's going to wear and tear on you. Guys, People in a blackout, long-term blackout, they get discouraged. So now imagine going through some shit like this for years. So keep that in mind before you play hero in your mind in a movie like this. This movie depicted about as realistic as it could have gotten, right? I mean, everything, down from the grittiness of the characters to the one bullet left or two bullets left. I thought that was pretty good. That was conveyed very well. So in a situation like this, if we're in a prolonged problem, if you will, I would say you keep fighting. You do what he did and you keep fighting. You don't give up, and you have a purpose to live. His purpose was his son, and I thought that was pretty good. I thought they did a good job having you believe that Viggo Mortensen's character, the man, put it all on the line for his son, right until his last breath. Now, the star of the movie, or the star event in the movie, is the bugging out. The excessive walking in that movie that was done was insane. And, you know, granted, listen, if you're bugging out aimlessly, that's what I would call bugging out aimlessly. They had no destination. Well, he had a destination, but for the most part, they were bouncing around from whatever shelter they could find, whatever place they can camp that was hidden and out of eyesight from everyone else. So, bug out pointers. Sticking to the road for the better part of your bugging out, it's a bad idea, guys, because we saw earlier in the movie where that group of cannibals, if you will, or thugs, whatever they were on the road with their big gas steam engine, whatever the fuck that thing was. That's a big no-no. Try to stay off the road as much as possible. The road is where all the bad people are going to stick to, because they're going to be expecting you to come by. Using a noisy shopping cart, that's a big no-no. Using a device that's going to make a lot of noise, again, you cannot do it. You should not do it. I get if that's like your only way of moving your gear around, maybe, because there's less people, maybe, but your shopping cart is making the most noise in a quiet world. And during that situation, the world is quiet. There's no energy, there's no cars, there's no planes, there's nothing. So you can hear that shopping cart for miles. They did have backpacks. I think they should have had bigger backpacks, but then again, they have to go with what they have. If they don't have bigger backpacks, then that's what they do, right? They put all their shit in a shopping cart and go. A wagon, you know, listen, I'm against those things because they make a lot of noise and they draw attention, like I said before. In a quiet world, guys, shit is really loud, right? You could fucking drop a glass bottle and you hear it for blocks, right? Because that is the only thing making sound. So backpacks are a better way to go. If you're going to use something to pull your gear, you got to make sure it's quiet as possible. Because again, something rattling on the road, especially concrete road, that's not quite flat, you're going to be heard. So they should have had, not that they should have had, but situational awareness. Now, I think he had great situational awareness. He was on point with listening to shit. He thought he heard something, he stopped. He thought he heard something in the distance. He was like, you know, what the hell? Now, there is a point in the movie where that bites him in the ass, right? So now we're going to jump into the whole shelter scene. The shelter scene where they found that treasure of food and water and a nice place to hole up, that was pretty cool. But that paranoia got to him. That paranoia had them abandon that shelter. Now, if you're going to abandon a shelter like that, I get that he had a destination. But when you have a kid, you have food, water readily available to you, with no one else knows, well, no one else knows where that is, right? They should have stayed close. He should have moved around. He should have stayed in the house during the day and in the shelter at night. If he was that paranoid, he should have, again, moved in circles, keeping that place within a mile's reach of him. I think that would have been a better option. So we're going to move on to something else, mental toughness. Now, I'm touching on this because, so Charlize Theron's character, she gives up, right? There's a great moment in the movie where she's sitting at the table with the husband, the man, and discussing what she's going to do next. And the husband's pleading with her to stay. That was a good scene. That showed you how she gave up. But you have to keep in mind, guys, it was 10 years of bullshit. Or maybe it was less than that, because I think the kid was a little younger than that. And then she just leaves the table and walks outside. She gave up. Her toughness was diminished. She was beaten. And there was nothing for him to say to keep her. Shame on her for giving up on her son and her husband. That was like a disappointing part in the movie. So when you first watch the movie, you're thinking something else happened to her. Then you find out what really happens to her and the choice she makes, and she pretty much leaves, never comes back. It's easy for us, for me, to tell you mental toughness is key to getting through certain things. It's easy for me to tell you that, you know what, it's going to be okay, but it's not. I can't really tell you that because we are not in that situation. And a situation like that is that peril that can break you over time, damage you over time. It's hard for me to sit there and say, hang in there. All I'm going to say is, you got to try your best. We all have to try our best in a situation like that where we're being constantly tested, beat up, and tried. I mean, guys, that is one of the worst things that can happen. Is something like that that's going to constantly pick at your soul, who you are. You got to stay tough. You got to hang in there, and you got to try the best you can. Because I'm not sitting there and going to tell you you're going to pull through it. I don't know. And that's the same for myself. 10 years of that shit. Who fucking knows? And then you run out of food, guys. That's a hard one to swallow, but you have to try. Especially if you have kids. Suicide is not an option. The continuity of the human race is us. What we do, how we prep, how long we go, right? That's why I tell you guys, keep prepping. Because I don't know where this COVID shit is going, and it could last for years. But I don't think it's going to get road bad. But should it get road bad, everybody should be fucking squared away for years. That's it for the roads critique. There's probably more I could talk about the movie. There's a lot more I could talk about the movie, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So, next prepper movie critique is going to be Castaway. Only reason why, because I just saw the movie the other day, and the movie's a good fucking movie, man. I know how some people feel about Tom Hanks and his bullshit, but nonetheless, we're still going to talk about the movie. Now, Castaway is not a prepper movie per se. It's more of a survival movie, right? So is like the movie like The Gray or The Mountain Between Us. Those are survival movies. Those are not prepper movies, but they should be entertained and talked about. This is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.